In this video, we are going to look at the competency-focused practice questions of ICC Class 10 2024. The physics questions will be solved in this. We already have solved questions 1 to 12, and now I'm going to solve from question 12 onwards. Totally, you will see there are different types of questions. Like the first type is multiple choice questions, then very short answer questions, then short answer questions, and the long answer questions. By and large, the MCQs are very popular with the different schools. You focus on the MCQs because MCQs can be very tricky. They are only 1 mark and sometimes they take a lot of thinking. So go through the analysis type of questions and evaluation type of questions where there is maximum thinking required. I've already finished solving question number 1 to 12 of MCQs. Let us come now to question number 13. Given that the resistivity of gold and platinum has been given as this number and this number ohm meter respectively, which is the correct statement? Statement A says that 5 meters of platinum wire will have the same resistance as 1 meter of gold wire. Now, if the resistivity is this is for unit length and unit area of cross section. So in order to find whether statement A is correct, let us write that rho gold is 2.1 into 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter, and the resistivity of platinum is 10.5 into 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter. They say 5 meters of platinum wire. So case 1 says that you take the length of platinum wire as 5 meter and the length of gold wire is 1 meter. Now, if you compare the resistances, your resistance of platinum to resistance of gold will be equal to rho into L upon area of cross section of platinum is to rho into L upon A of gold. Rho for platinum is 10.5 into the length is 5 meter upon the area of cross section. Now here, since they just changed the lengths, we assume that the area of cross section would be the same, and here it will be 2.1 into 10 to the power minus 8 into 1 meter upon area of cross section. Here I forgot 10 to the power minus 8. Now area of cross section from here gets cancelled, 10 to the power 8 gets cancelled, and this is 1 and 5. So you are getting this number as 5 into 5, that is 25 is to 1. Now if we have to have the same resistance, this ratio should have been 1 is to 1, right? So your statement A is wrong. Let us come to statement B. Gold wire of 1 centimeter radius will have the same resistance as platinum wire of 5 centimeters radius. So again we will have the resistance of gold wire is to resistance of platinum wire will be equal to rho into L upon A of gold is to rho into L upon A of platinum. We have been given the rho of gold as 2.1 into 10 to the power minus 8 multiplied by length. They have not spoken about, they have taken the radius. So we assume that the length is the same. Area of cross section is pi r square. So it will be pi r of gold square. Let me just put a box here. Is to, here rho will be 10.5 into 10 to the power minus 8 into L we keep the same, and pi and R platinum square. Let us see 10 to the power 8 getting cancelled, L getting cancelled, pi getting cancelled, and this number will divide here and it will go 5 times. What do we get over here? 1 upon the radius of gold whole square is to here 5 multiplied by 1 upon radius of platinum whole square. Now this is 0.01 whole square is to 5 into 1 upon, this is how much? 5 centimeters radius. So this radius is 0.05 whole square. Now can you see this will give us 10,000 upon 1 is to here 5 into 10,000 upon 5 square is 25. So this is 5 ones and 5 fives. This 10,000 got cancelled. So what am I getting? I'm getting here as 1 is to 1 upon 5. If they say that they have the same resistance, then I should have got 1 is to 1 ratio. So both statement A and statement B is wrong. Now if you look at the answer key has given that both the statements are correct. But in this case, both of them are incorrect as we have seen. So there is one error in this question number 13. Number 14. The assertion says that a switch will serve the purpose of making and breaking the circuit when it is connected to neutral wire. Now what is a switch? It is a making and breaking the circuit device. You connect it to live, you connect it to neutral, it will make or break the circuit. Granted that the switch is always connected in live for safety purpose, because the device will still be connected to live if you place it in the neutral wire. So even if the switch is connected in the neutral wire, it will still make or break the circuit. So this is true. Neutral wire is at zero potential. This is also true, but it's got nothing to do with this because this is pertaining to the switch. If they had to say that switch is a make and break device for the circuit, then we would have said yes, that's the correct explanation. But neutral wire has zero potential. It's true, but it doesn't explain this. So we have both of them are true, but reason is not the correct explanation. So the correct option is B. Question 15, giving us two rods. This is the first rod and this is the second rod. Both of them are made of soft iron, and they say that the two rods will attract each other. When they will attract each other if there is opposite polarity here. So let us say if A is connected to the positive and B is connected to the negative, the current will flow this way, and from here if you look, this is your clockwise current. So clockwise current means this end becomes south. Now if this is south, this will become north, right? So this has to be north, which means C also should be connected to the positive and this is negative. So now if we have the current going this way, the current at this end is going to be like this. So if you look at it from this side, it is going to go over and under. Over and under means it is going to be anti-clockwise. So this is north. So your A and C should be connected to positive and B and D should be connected to the negative terminal. The correct option is therefore A. 16th question. Which of the following equations are correctly balanced? A has X, Q minus 1 and P minus 5. It is emitting helium particle, which means that this Y should be q minus 1 minus 4, so q minus 5, and this should be p minus 5 minus 2, so it should be p minus 7. So A is wrong. Let us look at B. It is emitting beta particle. So this mass number remains the same, and this p minus 4 should become here p minus 4 plus 1, which means it should be p minus 3, but they have given p minus 5, so that is wrong. Look at C. Alpha particle is given out, so your x should become q minus 1 should become q minus 1 minus 4. So it should be q minus 5, which is correct. And this p minus 5 should become p minus 5 minus 2, that means p minus 7, which is also true, so this is correct. Let us look at this. This is 2 beta particles. So this remains the same, the mass number, and this p minus 7 should have 2 more added, that means it should be p minus 5. So this also is correct. So C and D option, both C and D is the correct option. Question number 17. The above picture shows 3 cylinders filled with water to different extents. The tuning forks L, M, N in vibration produce a louder sound when held above the mouth of the cylinders. Which combination is correct for hearing the sound, the loud sound of the tuning fork? If you look at the tuning forks, this one has the longest length of the tine. So we have frequency inversely proportional to the length. So this one with the maximum will have frequency minimum. And this one with the length of the tine, the shortest, will have the frequency maximum. Let us match this with this. The length of the air column is maximum here and minimum here. Maximum length means the frequency is going to be minimum. Why? Because frequency is inversely proportional to the length of the air column. This one over here with the least height of the air column, here the frequency is going to be maximum. So we have frequency minimum here, frequency minimum here. So P will give loud sound with N. This one with maximum frequency, this one with maximum frequency will have Q giving louder sound with L. And midway in between is M. So that will be with R. Which is the correct option here? P, N, Q, L. Where is Q, L, and N and P and M and R? So it is D option. Question 18. Let us see how we think for this. 3 metals A, B and C are supplied with the same quantity of heat. Their masses are in the ratio 2:3:4. They show the same rise in temperature, that means delta T is the same, and the ratio of their thermal capacities will be. Now they are supplied with the same quantity of heat, that means Q for A will be the same as Q for B will be the same as Q for C. Now Q is equal to MC delta T for A will be the same as MC delta T for B will be the same as MC delta T for C. The thermal capacity ratio is required. Now thermal capacity is C dash, and the formula for that is M into C. So for this, I am going to substitute C dash into delta T. Now they have delta T for each one of them same. So it will be, let me just clean this. It will be delta T for each will get cancelled. So we have M into C of A, that is C dash of A, will be the same as M into C of B, means C dash of B. And that will be equal to M into C, that is C dash of C. What is C dash? It is the thermal capacity. Now if they are equal, their ratio will be your C dash of A is to C dash of B is to C dash of C will be, since they are equal, it will be 1:1:1. Okay, so it will be option E. Question number 19 is based on electricity chapter, and we are given 4 diagrams. They are copper conductors of diameters D and 2D and lengths which are multiples of 1, which means if this is L, this is 1, then this will be 2, this will be 3, so on and so forth. The increasing order of the resistances will be, for the resistance, you need to know the factors on which resistance depends. Resistance of a metal is directly proportional to the length, and resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. If I want increasing order of resistance, I have to start with minimum resistance and I have to end with maximum resistance. Now, if I want minimum resistance, I should have minimum length and maximum area. Minimum length out of L, 2L and 3L, minimum is L. So L will be the least length and area of cross section maximum because the diameter is more. So this would be having the minimum resistance. So resistance will be minimum for A. So we start with A. That will be minimum. Now after that we want to increase the resistance a little bit. So I am going to have maximum area of cross section. So here there is less area of cross section, less area of cross section. So we can't touch B and D, we'll have to look at C. It has maximum area of cross section, and if this was L, it has become 2L. So the resistance of this C will be double of A. So it is going to be more. So let us come to C. That will be the next one. Now if I want to increase the resistance of this, so area of cross section has to be lesser now. So if I have lesser area of cross section, this is lesser area of cross section. So the length is going to be half of this, doesn't matter. But can you see that area of cross section means it is going to be resistance is 1 upon radius of cross section. So it becomes square of the radius inversely proportional to. So from this C, I have to increase the resistance. So I must reduce the area of cross section. So we'll have to take this so that the resistance of D will be more than C. Here, the length of this copper wire is maximum and the area of cross section is minimum. So can you see maximum length will increase the resistance and minimum area of cross section also will increase the resistance. And so B will have the highest resistance. Now if you want to double check, see here, this is your A with minimum length and maximum area of cross section. That will be the minimum resistance. So you can see your AAA, you have to choose from these. Maximum resistance will be where there is maximum length and minimum area of cross section. So that will be here 3L and here D. So your maximum resistance is going to be here. Now out of these, can you see B and C will fall in the correct option. So look at this A. When we have kept the area of cross section the same and we increased the length, that's the time the resistance of this became more than A. So more than A, that means C. So can you see the second one being C, and that A, C and this B, that becomes the correct option. Alright, let us go to the next one. Question 20 shows the diagram of the magnificent dome at Gol Gumbaj in Bijapur. A boy standing at A, that is this point, whispers, and it is clearly heard at B, that is here. The speed of sound is 330 meter per second. Assertion A. The distance traveled by the sound wave x plus y should be less than 33 meters. Now, in order to hear the sound clearly, the time should be minimum 0.1 second. Correct? So, how much should be the distance? Distance is equal to the speed multiplied by time. The speed is given as 330 meter per second, and that divided by this. So that will be 33, which means the distance between x and y, this x plus y. This is your x distance, this is your y distance. This reflection, this should be greater than 33 meters. What did they say? That it should be less than 33. How can you hear the reflection of sound if it has reached there in less than 0.1 second? So this one is false. The sound reflected within 0.1 second is not heard by humans. Yes, this is correct because the audibility range is more than 0.1 seconds in order to hear the echo. So this is false, this is true. This is option D. Question 21. A magnetic compass is present on a small table very close to the wall in the room. A man enters the room and switches on the air conditioner fitted near the ceiling. He observes that the needle in the compass shows immediate deflection. Identify the most probable reason for the deflection. A. Air blowing into the room. That is not going to affect the compass needle, so this is not the correct one. The current starts flowing through the AC wire concealed in the adjacent wall. This looks the probable thing because if the wire conducts electricity, that is going to produce a magnetic field around that wire. And that magnetic field is going to affect the compass needle, showing the deflection. So this looks like the correct option. Let us look at C and D. The vibrations are produced when the man starts talking to his wife in the kitchen. Doesn't make sense. That vibration is not going to cause deflection in the compass needle. Vibration were produced due to the file in his hand which fell to the ground is pretty absurd. So C and D are pretty silly reasons. The correct one is that when the current flows through the AC wire, a magnetic field is produced around the wire, which is going to cause deflection in the magnetic compass needle. Question 22. Two substances A and B have same mass. Substance A has high specific heat capacity than substance B. What consequence would you expect when these substances are subjected to same amount of heat energy? Now these ones are pretty popular questions. These have been repeating for quite a few years now. So if you have the heat supplied to the two substances is equal, then I will have MC delta T of A equal to MC delta T of B. They are saying they have the same mass. So the mass and mass will get cancelled. And substance A has a higher specific heat capacity than B. So if I have specific heat capacity of A upon specific heat capacity of B, then I will have delta T of B staying here and delta T of A comes this side. So it will be delta T of A. And they are telling you that specific heat capacity of A is greater. So we will say since C of A is greater than C of B, therefore delta T of B, because numerator is bigger, so here delta T of B is greater than delta T of A. Agreeable to you? So B is going to show greater rise in temperature. Substance A will experience smaller temperature change. That means delta T of A is less than delta T of B. That is what they mean. Isn't this the same thing? So the correct option is this. But let us go through the other options also. Substance A will experience a larger temperature change. That means they are saying delta T of A is greater than delta T of B. This is not correct because delta T of B is greater means delta T of A is less. So this is wrong. This is correct. Both will have the same temperature change? No, definitely you can see it is no equality here. Either of them will show greater change of temperature as the temperature change depends upon the factors other than specific heat capacity is not true because here we see temperature change is dependent upon the SHC because CA upon CB is equal to delta T of B upon delta T of A. Definitely SHC plays a major part in determining which one will show greater rise or fall in temperature. So correct option is A. Question 23. A student traces the path of the ray of light through the glass prism for different angles of incidence. He analyzes each diagram and draws the following conclusion. On entering the prism, the ray of light bends towards its base. Is the correct thing? Light rays suffers refraction at the point of incidence and at the point of emergence while passing through the prism. Yes, the refraction will be at both the surfaces where the point of incidence is and also at the point of emergence is also correct. An emergent ray bends at a certain angle to the direction of the incident ray, which is the angle of deviation. This is also correct. And while emerging from the prism at the second surface, the angle of refraction is less than the angle of incidence. Now for this it will be better if you confirm it with the diagram. The ray of light has entered the prism, it has turned towards the normal and it has turned away from the normal. Now in this fourth part, while emerging from the second surface, this is the angle of incidence and this is the angle of refraction. The angle of refraction will be greater than this angle because the ray of light is going from glass into air. That means denser to rarer. It will turn away from the normal. So your angle of refraction is greater than angle of incidence. They are saying it is less. So this is not true. So which is the correct option? 1, 2, 3 are true. Which of the following inferences are correct? 1, 2, 3 is correct. So the correct option is A. Number 24, this is from force and work power energy chapters. A metal ball is whirled inside a ring placed on the table as shown in the diagram P. The diagram Q shows the motion of the ball after the ring has been lifted. Which of the following diagram shows the correct position of the metal ball in the ring when the ring was lifted. Let us look at the motion of the metal ball inside the ring. It is moving in a clockwise direction. So if it has to move this way after the ring has been lifted, where would the metal ball be? Let us look at it. It's going clockwise this way. So if the ring was lifted here, it would have gone in this manner. For this position, if the metal ball is moving clockwise, at this point if we lift the ring, it would have gone this way. At point C, the metal ball is moving clockwise. If you lift the ring at this point, it will go along this direction, along the tangent. And here it will be clockwise, means it will come along the tangent like this. Now our observation is that the metal ball goes this way. So which is the correct option? Look for yourself. Isn't it C? Number 25. Assertion A. Sometimes the sky appears reddish in the evening, which is true. And the assertion R is red being the longer in wavelength scatters the least, not the most, than the other colors. So assertion A is correct, but R is wrong. Where is it? It is option C. Number 26. Again based on work, power, energy and force. Assertion A. When the displacement is 0, then the work is 0. So if the work is 0, then it necessarily means that the displacement is 0. Now we know that work calculated is in the relation W is equal to Fs cos theta. So if S is 0, definitely F into 0 into cos theta will give us work equal to 0. But if the work done is 0, does it mean that the only option could be that S is 0? No. There could be no force, no work. Or cos theta could be 0. That means your theta is 90 degrees. So work calculated by relation this is true, absolutely. But work done will be 0 necessarily means only if displacement is 0 is not true. So this is false, but this is true. Where is it? False and true. It's the option D. 27th. Which of the following statements is correct? The frequency of the stretch string. Now when we talk about frequency of stretch string, you must have these in front of you. It's directly proportional to the length but inversely proportional to the tension. No, inversely proportional to the length and directly proportional to root of tension. So this is not correct. Inversely proportional to length, correct, but directly proportional to the tension of the wire, it should be root of tension. So I want to check for something more. Directly proportional to square root of length? No. But inversely proportional tension? No. Inversely proportional to length is correct. Directly proportional to the square root of tension? Yes. This is the correct one. So here they just talked about the tension. We should have talked about the root of tension. Okay, so that's why this is wrong. Number 28. A ray of light passes obliquely from optical medium of refractive index 1.33 to another medium of refractive index 1.5 while passing from first medium to the second. Now 1.33 and 1.5, this becomes the denser medium and this becomes the rarer medium. So when I'm going from rarer to denser, the ray of light turns towards the normal. Where is towards the normal? Option A. All these ones do not make any sense. So the correct option is E. 29th question. You want to register your name for an examination. For registration purpose, you need a passport size photograph of yourself. When you went to a studio, the photographer told you to sit on the chair in front of the white screen in the room. Assertion A. This is purposefully done so that you as an object should stand beyond the center of curvature of the camera lens, but surely not at an infinite distance. The reason are the characteristics of the image formed are that it can be taken on the screen and is also diminished in size. When you are taking the photograph, yes, you should be beyond 2f and it should be beyond the center of curvature means 2f, where the object is going to give a diminished real image which can be taken on the screen. So this is correct. And B is characteristics of the image formed is such that it can be taken on the screen and it should be diminished. Yes, that is the passport size photograph. Is both of them are true. And R is the correct explanation. Yes, this also makes the same thing. As I read this, I told you exactly the same thing. That was the reason. So correct option is A. Rivers which originate from the glaciers at high altitudes have a supply of water throughout the year. This is because ice in high mountains does not melt all at once. This is due to, definitely it is because ice having the highest specific latent heat of fusion. Let us see, is it because of high specific heat of ice? No. Low specific heat of ice? No. We need a latent heat. Where is it? Low specific latent heat? No, it has very high specific latent heat. So D is the correct option. Question 31 from Electricity and Magnetism. If three resistors R1, R2, R3 are connected in series and by R1 greater than R2 greater than R3, then what is the relation between the current I1, I2 and I3 respectively flowing from them? So the three resistors are connected in series. Now if you have the resistors connected in series, then there is only one path for this. So the current through each one of these will be the same. If they were in parallel, then in that case, the R1, which is the maximum resistance, would have had minimum current, and R3, which is the minimum resistance, would have had maximum current. But if they are in series, it will be one path only, and so it will be having the same current. So same current means option A. Number 32. What is the ratio of wavelengths of P, Q and R? Now this length from here to here, let us say is L, then the wavelength of P will be from here. This is one wave here. Now you can see that this will be L by 3, this part will be L by 3 and this part also will be L by 3. So the wavelength of P is going to be L by 3 plus L by 3 means 2L upon 3. From here to here becomes the wavelength of Q, so that will be L. And the wavelength of R, remember this way becomes one complete wave, correct? So if this is L, the whole thing becomes how much? 2L. Now they're saying ratio of the wavelengths of P, Q and R, that is lambda P is to lambda Q is to lambda R, will be equal to 2L upon 3 is to L is to 2L. L and L gets cancelled and 2 upon 3 is to 1 is to 2. In order to remove this fraction, we'll multiply all of them by 3. So you will have 2 is to 3 is to 6. 2:3:6, and that is option D. 33. During the change of state of a substance from solid to liquid, heat is absorbed by a body, but its temperature does not rise. Why does the temperature not rise? Because kinetic energy remains the same. But because it is change of state, the potential energy is going to increase because intermolecular distances are increasing. Only kinetic energy increases? No, it remains the same, and potential energy increases. So the first option is wrong. Only potential energy increases? Yes, kinetic energy remains the same is correct. Let us see option C. Both K and P increase? No, kinetic energy does not increase. There is no increase in PE as well as K. This also is wrong. So the correct option is B. Question 34. Electricity magnetism. Assertion A. When the current is passed through a wire, a magnetic field is generated around the wire. Yes, this is correct. And that direction is given by right-hand thumb rule. What is the reasoning? Whenever there is change in magnetic flux linked with the coil? No, this one is your induced EMF. So this is not the correct reason. Although whenever there is change in magnetic flux linked with the coil, the induced current is generated is correct, but this is not the reason for this. Okay, so both of them are correct, but R is not the correct explanation. So option B is the correct option. 35, and this is the last question of MCQs, and I'm going to end the video at this. Which of the following combinations correctly shows the charges on the particles? Plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. This is the charge on a proton. Minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 is the charge on electron, and this will be the charge on alpha particle because 2 protons it has. So this will be alpha particle. So where is proton electron alpha? Proton electron alpha is option C. So this finishes all the MCQs. So I'm going to end this video over here. I will see if I can go through these and also explain how to solve these. In the meantime, I hope that this video was useful to you. Study well, plan your work well, and all the best for your exam. Make yourself proud and your parents proud. Bye.